We usually have a good time.
Okay, that's great. Carmela, I'm going to translate this for our audience, who is most of the time Netherlands speaking. Ze zien er dus eigenlijk echt wel naar uit om vanavond op te treden in de Spiegeltent. Wij dachten aanvankelijk, oei, zo'n grote naam in de Spiegeltent, dat gaat spannend worden. We hebben ons zelfs laten vertellen dat het verkeer in het centrum van Olen eventjes omgeleid zal worden. Carmela, I don't know whether you are aware of the fact that the cars have to make a little, let's say, U-turn. How do I say this?
Yeah, that's a diversion.
A diversion, because you are playing in the tent tonight to make sure that you're not bothered with horns and
oh my
cars. Don't know whether I was aware of that.
No, I wasn't aware that we created such a distraction, diversion. I feel like a queen.
It means a lot about the impact of your show tonight. Lots of people are looking forward to see you.
Good.
And
Fantastic.
Yes. I'm not really sure whether there are still cards available, but in case they are, whom are the people we have to contact to? Well, they are on the website of ThalsFM. There you can see and check whether there's still cards available for your show tonight.
Cards?
As your cards.
Oh.
Tickets.
Awesome cards.
Can you more or less describe what you will be doing tonight?
Yeah, well, we do a lot of the old Kiki songs, like Amoureuse, the French song, and we do a slow version of Don't Go Breaking My Heart, and we do I've Got the Music in Me.
Ah, that's good. That's good.
And then we do a lot of the songs that Carmelo and I wrote. Songs from Kate Bush, Frank Sinatra.
Good.
So it's a very eclectic
mix. Yeah. Carmelo, when you started out playing with Kiki, quite some years ago now, for you that was something very, very different, because you just one guitar, one voice. That means that lots of the songs need a new arrangement.
That's true, yeah. It was, well, I kind of was a rock player really, and I produced a couple of tracks for Kiki, and we started doing a radio tour where you, as you know, you take one guitar, and our old manager at the time, he felt that something good was happening and he encouraged us to write more. So I began to arrange things on acoustic more, and we've kind of turned left and gone and kept going, and it's nearly 15 years and we haven't turned back yet, so it's very challenging.
Being both songwriters, because Kiki also writes numbers, you write numbers, does this mean that sometimes you are each other's equivalent or opposites?
Oh, I mean, I love this gig, and what I love about working with Kiki is that she is somebody very forward-looking, and it would be very easy for Kiki just to do a kind of a retro review show. And as Kiki mentioned, we do some of the old songs, but this is very much about going forward. In fact, tonight we'll be playing about 5 or 6 songs that we've only just written that aren't really ready, but it's a challenge of feeling the live audience, the reaction. I just hope that the rain stops so you can actually hear them.
Yes, we can try to make that work. Ik ga heel kort eventjes samenvatten wat Carmelo en Kiki zo net hebben verteld. Hun show vanavond is een soort van overzichtje eigenlijk van de beste nummers van Kiki. Daartussen zitten ook nog een heleboel leuke dingen die ze samengeschreven hebben. En Kiki, stop mij even een papiertje toe. Ja, er zijn nog kaartjes. Absoluut, er zijn nog kaarten aan de kassa. Als je vanavond zin hebt om een heel bijzonder concertje mee te maken. Kiki Dee en Carmelo op de gitaar. 1 stem, 1 gitaar. Dat wordt heel intiem in de sfeervolle tent in het centrum van Olen Centrum. Wat Carmelo daarnet ook nog vertelde is de samenwerking met Kiki, dat eigenlijk meteen goed zat. Ze hebben elkaar ongeveer 15 jaar geleden leren kennen. En meteen voelden ze van, wij moeten meer gaan doen. We moeten een nieuwe muzikale weg inslaan. En voor hen betekent die muzikale weg eigenlijk bekende nummers van een nieuw arrangement voorzien, zodanig dat ze met gitaar en met stem gebracht kunnen worden. En dat mensen toch dat vleugje van dat originele nummer nog herkennen. Kiki, the question which we have been asking ourselves the last couple of days. Do you and Carmelo share something else besides the music?
In other words, are you a night out?
The dressing room.
I need to check.
You know, his children, his family is fantastic.
Okay.
But no. I think we might kill each other.
That was
she
one
is
of
like one of
the
the family.
questions that was posed about all of our guys.
Yeah.
Are they a couple
Oh,
as
that's
well in real
well.
life?
It's you see, it's because of the, you know, I am single.
Okay.
Well, I mean, I'm not married. I'm not married. And I've never married, so that's probably why people ask.
Okay, okay.
She's Auntie Kiki
Okay.
in our family.
Okay.
Auntie Kiki.
Meaning like you've got several
Well,
kids then, Carmelo?
I've got two children,
Oh, that's
Sophia
good.
and
That's
Alva.
good. Well,
And but I have a studio at home.
okay.
And Kiki lives in London, but also has a house. And because she needs to be near us so much, she
Okay.
also bought a house because she used
Oh,
to.
that's cool.
I used to lock her above the studio and only let her out to do work.
I don't think she was very happy with that, no.
Oh,
I can imagine.
We get the same problem as well because on the radio, Anita and myself, we're always out. Plus, she sings in my band.
And I'll make you coffee.
And
I'll make you
everybody
coffee.
keeps coming up. Are you to have a couple? Are you? And the missus is normally there going, bloody hell, what they doing now? No, it's
Well,
difficult.
it also
sometimes.
says, I think, a lot about what you're doing together music-wise then, that you are actually not maybe a married couple, but I mean, you understand what music is about,
You know what?
sharing feelings.
When we work in the studio in particular, or we're trying out something new, Kiki doesn't say things very often, but when she does, I always listen
Yeah.
because she's usually right.
Yeah.
And what is incredible, Kiki, we always seem to agree about what we feel is good and maybe not so cool or not so good.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
we tend to have a very similar musical path. You know.
Are your kids, Carmelo, already at that age where they can give already, let's say, criticism to you and Kiki, like, hey, we really don't like that song?
I can give you a funny story. When my son was about, I don't know, 3 or 4,
Yeah.
one of the songs which we don't really play anymore, but it was a U2 cover, I still haven't found what I'm
Okay.
looking for. And we did a little recording of it, which I was mixing. And the door was open, because it was summer, and he kept walking in and out of the door, in and out of the door. Every time he came in, he kept hearing the same song. When you mix, you go over and over. And so all he kept hearing is, still haven't found what I'm looking for, still haven't found what I'm looking for. And in the end he said, Papa, I said, yes. He said, what Kiki lost?
Oh, that's a nice story. That's a really nice story. Ik zal het proberen samen te vatten voor onze Nederlandstalige luisteraars, maar ik krijg een tekentje van mijn collega Tam. You would like to play a record, I suppose.
Well, so people can get the breath back.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Okay, we'll be back after this one in the studio. If you'd like to talk to Kiki or Carmelo, 014 70 48 50.